Hi, everybody. This week on SPNN's forum here in beautiful St. Paul, we are going to talk with Mark Smith and Tom Whelan of the Irish Fair coming up August 11th. Stay tuned. Welcome to St. Paul's Forum here at SPNN, or maybe I should say the SPNN Forum, the St. Paul Neighborhood Network, where we indeed talk with our neighbors and our community. Today we're going to talk about the Irish Fair coming up in August, which is coming up really soon. We're going to talk with Mark Smith and Tom Whelan, who are on the board of the Irish Fair, and they're going to tell us a whole lot more about what's going on for 3 days in August, from August 11th to August 13th, Friday through Sunday. We're going to have us a whale of a good time. We're going to talk with our board member, who is Mr. Mark Smith. We're going to also talk with Tom Whelan, who is the chairman of the board, and he and I just got through laughing about that because, yes, indeed, he is the Frank Sinatra of the Irish Fair Board. And Mr. Mark Smith is the mascot, although today he didn't wear the mascot costume, and it's okay because in his costume he wouldn't be able to speak with us, and we definitely want him to talk. Tell us more about this Irish Fair, which I understand is celebrating 46 years.
That's true. It's been around for a long time, celebrating Irish culture. Lots to do, wide open spaces, expats, everybody.
What do you mean expats?
Expats, like people that have lived in Ireland, Scotland, and now are located here.
Here in America, here in Minnesota?
Here in Minnesota,
yeah.
generally. I mean, we'd love them to come from farther than that. Business owners around here, St. Paul, Minneapolis business owners.
Yes.
We celebrate that, but from the fair itself, it's a very family-orientated fair, very unique because I brought my young kids there when I was just going as a fairgoer, and there's lots for them to do. Like I said, lots of places to run, lots of green grass, a beautiful river behind it, and entertainment everywhere.
So we're saying lots of green grass and entertainment everywhere, but we're not saying where the Irish Fair will be held.
It is at Harriet Island.
Downtown St. Paul, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Kicks off at what time on August the 11th?
It opens at 3:30 on Friday.
Okay.
And then on Saturday, what time do the gates open? I think
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
And it closes, the official closing time is what, 10?
I think it's 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
On Saturday, and then we open Sunday at 10 o'clock and close at 7 with a special event we call the Scattering. And we can talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, we can. But just so folks understand, the fair begins at about 3:30 on Friday,
Right.
August 11th,
Right.
and will end on Sunday, August 13th at around 7 o'clock.
That's right.
But we know how these things go. Might be 7, 7:15, 7:30, whenever you can scoot everybody out of the park.
That's exactly right.
What is the scattering?
The Scattering is a culmination of everything that we've done over the weekend, and we get as many of the musicians who played through the weekend and some dancers to come on stage and collaborate in one or two final numbers. Mm-hmm. And our crowd gathers and we give them a final blessing and send them off into the night and get ready for the next year.
And scatter the crowd,
That's
in other
exactly
words.
right.
Tell us more about this Irish Fair. I understand you're going to have such diversity as dancers. You're going to have folks in costume. I mean, will the wearing of the green be appreciated by folks? What is actually this Irish Fair?
The Irish Fair was founded in 1980 by a bunch of people who wanted to help perpetuate the Irish culture in the Twin Cities. And it was a small group of people who gathered, I believe, on a Friday night at St. Thomas back then, and has now, after more than 40 years, we've been on Harriet Island since '99, I think. It's a 3-day festival, and we're one of many Irish festivals that takes place in the U.S., probably starting in about April and going through September or October. Mm-hmm. So many of our entertainers who come over from Ireland and mainland Europe are playing in the circuit of Irish Fest. And we complement those musicians with regional and local musicians. We've got 16 or 17 dance schools here in the Twin Cities, so we have 8 stages of entertainment through the weekend, including comedy, native dogs. We've got a sports park where we have sheep herding dogs. They come in and demonstrate their craft. We have athletic demonstrations, food and beverage galore. It's really, really a nice event. And as Mark said a minute ago, it's family friendly. And the thing we want to get across, Jackie, is you don't have to be Irish to enjoy Irish fare.
Thank you for that. Yeah, but if I wear green, won't that be just as good?
We won't discount your ticket, but it's a nice look.
Thank you. Now, you did bring up something that I wanted to ask specifically about, because the Native Dogs of Ireland, at first I thought it was the name of a band. So what exactly does that entail?
There was a band called the Wolfhounds back in the day, I think, but the Irish Wolfhound is a native to Ireland, and there are a number of people who will bring their dogs in. There are a few other, like they bring in
Terriers,
Newfoundland, large dogs. These dogs could almost qualify as small ponies. And we give them a space, and give them a little bit of a parade and demonstration on Saturday. And then our crowd comes in and gets to go over and visit with the dogs.
Oh, very nice. Almost like the best of show, only the best of Ireland.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Understood. So another thing that kind of caught my eye were that you have headliners. You have music all day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but each day is dedicated to a headliner who will be there, including Gaelic Storm, correct? Gaelic
Storm will be returning to Irish Fair on Friday night, and we can always count on them. They're real crowd pleasers, and we know that we should be prepared for a few thousand more people than would ordinarily come in. They have been with us for a couple of years. Saturday night's headliner are the Wild Colonial Boys, a local band.
Okay.
And Sunday, I can't even recall.
Well, it's Screaming Orphans, I suppose, would be considered.
4 sisters from Donegal who are nutty as anything and great musicians, and they are also real crowd pleasers, the Screaming Orphans.
Yeah, I would be a groupie. If I had the luxury of being a groupie for them, I would travel the world with them.
Well, I'm going to just toss a couple of the
Shannon.
names out, because I know there's folks out there that are either fans of some of the bands or will become just because of the name of some of these bands. The ones that caught my attention, especially Mac and Cheese. Is that really the name of a band, or is that food?
Do you know Mac and Cheese, Mark?
Do I? No, I actually don't know. That must be one of the local acts called Mac and Cheese.
Mac and Cheese.
Yeah.
Let me see, the
We've
other
got
one.
Socks in the Frying Pan.
That's the one.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's the one that really got me giggling.
They visited with us several times. There's a band called Whelan out of France who plays a mix of music you would hear in Brittany and Ireland.
Wow.
They're fantastic.
How about Two Broke Blokes?
They're local players as well.
Very good.
Jig Jam is an Irish band with one of their members living here most of the time, so that was an easy invite.
What about Gus the Bardic Troubadour?
Gus is terrific. He's also a wonderful volunteer for Irish Fair.
Okay.
And he's a one-man show and does some music that people can sing along with. It's very popular.
What is Red Lock's toasting competition?
The distillery, Red Locks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our friend Kieran
didn't
Folliard
know.
is producing Red Lock's Irish whiskey, Irish American whiskey. And we do have a toast competition in the Guinness pub on the Celtic Junction stage. And a lass who works with Red Locks and knows some of the better toasts from pubs around the world leads the group in a little bit of a competition. And
There's nothing better than an Irish toast. I'm sorry. I have read some of the things, and they're just hilarious and true. and poignant.
Yes,
Almost like a limerick.
almost.
Well, that alone is going to get some people out for the tasting and toasting competition.
Indeed. And we've got the Real Irish Comedy Tour coming in, and these are Irish comics
Yeah.
who play some of the festivals through the summer, but they have really they lit up our crowd here in the last couple of years. Really been fun.
So if these are folks that are on the circuit, more or less, you know, between Europe and America and all the different Irish fairs and festivals, then we're talking a level of authenticity that you're just not going to see anywhere else, correct?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that and the fact that they're really entertaining. I mean, you know, if they have the
That's the
ability to make,
authenticity.
yes, exactly.
You don't want fakery.
Right.
This is realery.
It is really.
That's a word now. I
It
think.
is. I just
Great.
made it up. But so the folks understand, these are folks that do this for a living. It's not just Jackie in a green dress, you know, hopping around
we can't
on
wait
stage
for that. That'll
trying
be
to do
great.
a Moorish dance. It is someone who lives the Irish lifestyle, knows the Irish music, knows the community, knows the culture, and can present it to you in an authentic way, correct?
If you think of, you know, we grew up talking about troubadours back in the day who would go from village to village. That's exactly what these people are doing. Many of them have the Irish brogue. Many of them have been on mainland Europe, and so it is the authenticity to which you just referred. It's fantastic, and our crowd comes out for exactly that kind of content.
Anyone playing the Irish violin, the Irish fiddle?
The fiddle.
Oh my God, I just melt when I hear that played correctly. Oh my God.
We have loads of fiddlers. In fact, here in town, we've got the Center for Irish Music, and there's ongoing lessons over in the Celtic Junction Arts Center on Pryor Avenue, teaching people the fiddle. So that the music is also being taught to the kids, and they grow up and play in bands just like the ones we're presenting at Irish Fair.
We're speaking with Tom Whelan and Mark Smith of the Irish Fair, which is taking place in Harriet Island or on Harriet Island this August 11th through the 13th. It's a 3-day affair with so many musicians, so much music, so much entertainment that it actually stretches across 7 stages. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'm Jackie Maddix for SPNN, and I'm having a whale of a good time talking to these gentlemen about the Irish Fair. So let's talk a little bit about these 7 different stages. There's the Belfast stage, the Cork stage, the Donegal stage, the Dublin stage, Galway stage, the Limerick stage, and the Waterford stage. My favorite is going to be the Limerick stage. Is that where the storytellers will be?
We will have a few storytellers, but actually the stages are all named for cities or regions of Ireland. And so because we have so many dance schools and musicians here at our fair, we have to spread them around. So we're spreading the joy around. Another thing that's kind of neat, at the Cork stage on Saturday afternoon, we are honored to be visited by the Irish ambassador to the United States.
Ooh,
Geraldine
nice.
Byrne-Nason is coming in, and we're just thrilled to have her here.
From D.C., from Washington?
She's from D.C., and
Yes.
she's former delegate to the United Nations also, so she's a diplomat with a real track record. We can't wait to see what she has to say.
And when are you expecting her to be at the fair?
She'll be at our opening ceremonies on Friday night at 6 o'clock, and then speaking at 1 o'clock on the Cork stage on Harriet Island.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
So she'll be there for 2 days. So folks will get a chance to see her, meet her, and show their appreciation for her and the work that she does. Tell us more about the Irish Fair. For instance, what does it cost to get in?
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, well, there's a couple different types of tickets that you can order, and they're available obviously online right now. You can get a general admission for a day. You can buy a weekend pass for a day for discounted rates, so all 3 days, general
nice.
admission.
Nice, nice.
And then there's the VIP option, and the VIP option is can be a single day or a whole weekend, and that will actually get you valet service, so you can just drive right to the fair.
Valet parking
Valet
service.
parking, yes. You can just drive right to the fair and then have your car parked, and then it'll give you access to this area, beautiful area by the, it's still by the pavilion, right? I think it's still by the pavilion. And throughout the entire day that you're there will be beverages and food available to you, so it's no waiting. And
This is for the VIP
for the VIP section.
option,
Yes,
if you choose
absolutely.
that.
Yep, and then you can also, I think that you'll still have some nice seating, and you have great sight lines for a bunch of different stages as well. So there's a lot of advantages for
Well,
for
let
doing
me
that.
ask you about the setup then, because my imagination had 6 or 7 stages lined up, and you could just walk from stage to stage to stage. But you're talking about a seating area. So VIP means you can just sit and still see everything that goes on
Yeah.
at all of the stages.
Yep, lots of room.
Uh-oh, Tom?
Well, we have special seating for the VIP crowd over at the Dublin stage, which is our main stage on the east end of the island. And then the other stages are scattered around the island, so the VIP and the regular paying customers can walk around and look at the schedule and see who they want to listen to or which dance schools they want to see.
Correct.
And then visit them at the time that they're scheduled. VIP is a nice option. We also have senior pricing, a little bit of a
Oh,
discount.
very good for us seniors.
And kids,
We're guests of a certain age. We won't say seniors anymore.
we should say experienced or something like that.
We're of a certain age.
Yeah.
That works better for us.
Kids 12 and under are admitted at no charge,
Yes.
which is great. And so it really is an affordable event. When you think people might go to downtown Minneapolis or St. Paul and spend $50 or $60 for an hour and a half show by one of their favorite acts.
They will.
For $20.
Or the state fair even.
Or the state fair. For $20, you're going to get 12 hours of entertainment if you come on Saturday, and all varied entertainment.
And what kind of food? Let's get down to brass tacks. What are we going to have available to eat there?
What kind of things do you like to eat at the fair, Mark?
I love the Anchor fish and chips, actually. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a little British. Is there
British.
anything, come on, let's talk about some real food here. You know what everybody wants.
Well, fish and chips is actually pretty Irish as well. So
right,
we have
tell
we've
us.
got a few places who are selling fish and chips, but we have some Irish bangers, which are sausages, and mash, which is potato. We have some, 17% of the people who live in Ireland were not born there. So it's not completely an Irish country. And so some of our foods are representative of what everyone else is eating. I believe we've got some curry options this year. There's some empanadas, I believe, some Latino food. It's really a nice mix. And that's on the food side. And then on the beverage side, we've got Irish whiskeys and beers and ciders and seltzers.
That's what people
And-
want to know.
Guinness will be back, and we just love pouring Guinness for our guests. And for those who aren't in the drinking set, we have a lot of non-alcoholic beverages also. Guinness
That's good to
0.0 is great.
That's good
A lot
to
of
know.
sodas and NA ciders and things like that. A little something for everybody.
So this is Tom Whelan and this is Mark Smith. We're talking with them about the Irish Fair coming up August 11th through the 13th. And actually, August 11th is my birthday, so that's why I keep saying August 11th. It's on a Friday.
I think the governor's already said it's Jackie Maddix Day at the Irish Fair.
Well, then I'll be there. Look for me. I'll be wearing a leprechaun costume.
Oh, fantastic. That's great.
I'll be a different kind of leprechaun, though, I think. Well, there's Black Irish.
There are indeed.
Okay, all righty then. See, I'm not too detached from what's going on in the rest of the world. Tell us a little bit more, though, about this fair, because we said it's been around for 45, 46 years. Yeah. Did you guys have to take a pause for COVID?
We did. We operated through 2019, and we took 2020 off, and it gave us a chance to recharge and evaluate how we were going to deal with the crowds, and would the crowds come back out after COVID?
Yes.
And there was a little bit of reticence, I think, in 2021 when our crowd was probably 19,000, something like that, and we had more last year at 2022. We think now there's been enough cabin fever experience that people will be flocking out to Harriet Island.
Will there be mask optional options for folks, because there's still some people that prefer to stay masked. And I don't want them to feel that they're going to be, put upon or looked at strangely if they want to wear their mask. Because some people are still in a compromised medical situation.
Yeah, I mean, even just air quality.
Exactly.
I find that
Exactly.
ultimate irony that we're actually putting our masks on outside and taking them off when we go inside. But no, I would say that, no, it's from all aspects, all beliefs, I think it's very welcoming if that's what you feel like you wish to do. It's not like you're going to get a hard time about it. It is a beautiful open air situation, so people that might be a little risk adverse, it is outside and it's wide open. It's as wide open as you want it to be, so.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
but
good.
no, that's totally acceptable.
Now, this is another question, because I know my St. Paul people. I know you guys are bringing in dogs, the native dogs of Ireland. Can people bring their own pets? And will that be a problem, in interacting with other dogs? Or because you know how folks are. To some folks, their pets are their children.
Dogs are welcome. I wouldn't encourage people bring in their dogs, but they're welcome to do it, and we would keep their dogs separate away from the native dogs, just as we keep the pipers and the sheep away from the native dogs. We want to make sure that everyone is careful and respectful at the fair.
Very good.
I haven't
So
seen
well-trained dogs are welcome.
Exactly,
In other words.
and leashed, and people have been pretty respectful about that. I haven't seen any cats or parakeets brought into our fair, but dogs are certainly welcome.
Well, very good. It's a good thing to know. Now I want to ask either one of you, if Mark or Tom, whichever wants to answer. I saw something on your website that I thought was wonderful, and I just want to share this with the audience, that all proceeds from the festival are reinvested in Minnesota's Irish cultural community. Can someone speak to that?
There have been years where we have not had proceeds to reinvest, but if the budget works out the way we hope, yes, we roll the money into the following year's fair and actually engage other organizations in the Irish community, so we can all come together at different times of the year. Irish Fair has always been a one-trick pony in August, right? And we know we need to expand our brand through the rest of the year, which also allows us to leverage the relationships we have with our sponsors. But we had Irish Fair up north in June. We actually took 2 or 3 dance schools and some musicians up to Duluth and exposed that crowd. So we would hopefully have some people from Duluth come down here to the fair. We're going to do more of that next year. But yes, we reinvest in the community, and it's important to us. It's in our mission to do that.
Very good. And Mark, as we get ready to close, share with us some of the philosophy behind the Irish Fair. I'm sure there is one.
My personal philosophy or the
just,
one around
well, you're a
the fair?
volunteer, and you've been volunteering
Yeah.
for quite a long time.
Yeah.
You're a member of the board, but there's got to be a philosophy. It's more than just let's show people what Ireland is all about. There's got to be something.
I think it's offering not only the opportunity for education about Ireland, but I mean, really, it's got something for everybody. I mean, I walk like the state fair sometimes, and I'm walking down this massive avenue of a sea of people, and I'm like, this is just too much. But the philosophy is really, this isn't just for Irish people. We want to expand. I mean, just like we support our local businesses and our local food suppliers that may not necessarily be Irish, but certainly have a place at the fair. The Irish Fair really is geared for families. It's geared for fun. It's fun on your own terms. Take of it what you will. I mean, because there's just so much to offer.
So you're not going to say Aaron go bra or anything
I
like
will
that.
not. I'm not even going to pretend to have an
You're
Irish
not going to give us a
accent, no.
philosophy like that.
No.
Well,
no.
can you give us a website? Is there some place that folks can go to find out more information?
Absolutely. Thank you. It's irishfair.com. And we also...
Spell it out for folks, because you got to do that these days.
irishfair.com.
Com,
.com. And then on the socials, if you look us up on Irish Fair Minnesota. You'll find us actively on Facebook and Instagram.
Very good, thank you. And Tom, since you're are you the CFO, I would call it? Are you the chairman of the board
I'm just the board chair.
financially? Or?
I'm one of the boys in the band, that's all.
Well, do you direct what it is that brings different acts in? Is there a certain focus you want to make?
That's a great question. We are, as you pointed out earlier, we're a volunteer board. We recruit about 700 volunteers to take care of the crowd when they come out to Harriet Island. We have 2 part-time employees, a part-time event manager, a part-time office manager. So the whole thing is done with volunteers. And it's people who are working, many of us are working full-time and are volunteering their time above that. And we want to acknowledge that Harriet Island was there long before we got there, and it was founded by people, Native Americans. We want to leave Harriet Island in a better shape than when we got there, and we have to build up. We spend probably $500,000 to build up all infrastructure in Harriet Island, and then break it all down the Monday after the fair and bring it back to its natural place. I want to repeat. You don't have to be Irish to come to Irish Fair, Jackie.
Thank you, Tom.
And that's not directed at you. It's directed at everybody in the community. Come out and give us a try.
Thank you. Tom Whelan, chairman of the board. We have Mark Smith, who is a member of the board and part-time mascot. Thank you both for coming out and giving us more information about the Irish Fair. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in to SPNN, to our very special forum today. And August 11th, we hope to see you all at Irish Fair. I'm Jackie Maddix for SPNN, St. Paul Neighborhood Network. Thanks for coming out here.